If you're going to be world-class in sales, you got to be world-class at dealing with gatekeepers. It comes with the territory. So what I'm going to walk you through is best practices of what to do and what not to do, help you turn them from an obstacle to an ally, and then leave you with a script so that you can implement this right now to get past every gatekeeper that you face. So let's get into it with walking you through the do's and don'ts of dealing with gatekeepers, starting with the most important do, which is confidence. You want to be received as someone that they're expecting your call. So do not say, "May I please speak with," because that lowers your status. You want to be friendly, but you want to be confident and you want to be concise, because what we're doing is we're not trying to fire off the alarms when dealing with a gatekeeper, because that's how we get past them. But you also want to remember, do not use their full name. When you ask for their full name, that fires off the sales alarms. If you're calling a friend, you're not saying their first and last name. You're just using their first name. Same goes for this. So when you use just their first name, it implies that you know them and they know you, which will help get you past the gatekeeper. Now, what you also want to make sure you do is reference connections. If there's a specific reason for reaching out, reference it to get past the gatekeeper. If your CEO mentioned them, if there was an article that you read, or if there's something that they just published, reference it here, because it'll get you past the gatekeeper, because this isn't an unsolicited call, and that's what they're really looking for when asking you questions when you connect with them. But what you don't want to do is pitch them. Do not tell them about your amazing products and services. They don't care. So don't do it. It's a waste of your time and energy, and it's not a good use of their time and energy either. And if that's the case, you're definitely not going to build rapport if you're pitching them. So just don't do it. But what I want you to do is make sure you're smiling. This goes with being confident. This goes with being friendly, because what you're doing is you're building rapport through smiling. A majority of communication happens non-verbally. And what happens non-verbally is they can pick up on whether or not you're smiling or not when you're communicating and talking, even if it's over the phone. So make sure you're smiling when you're calling, because it's going to help you build rapport with the gatekeepers when you connect with them. But what I don't want you to do is be rude. These are human beings. You wouldn't want someone to treat you like crap. Don't do the same for them, because this is not a good thing to do as a human. But if you want a business reason, guess what that gatekeeper has? Access to the decision maker that you're trying to speak with. And guess what that gatekeeper can do? They can give that decision maker a call. Say, "Hey, don't talk to Justin J. Johnson. He's a big jerk." And guess what happens there? You'll never speak to him. So don't be rude, and that's going to give you the best chance. Now, what you want to think about instead of being rude is, how can I help them? Gatekeepers aren't just front desk people. They're managers, directors, even VPs. Whoever's not the ultimate decision maker or economic buyer, they could be received and seen as a gatekeeper. So think about how your solution can help them specifically, and then it's going to help turn them into an asset for you. But what I don't want you to do more tactically is say no when you're dealing with someone at the front desk. If they say, "Are they expecting your call?" do not say no, because this fires off the alarm and they're just going to send you to voicemail. But what you want to do instead is say yes if you've already been prospecting them, or maybe if you haven't started prospecting them. But do not say no. Now, what I want you to do is leverage them as an asset. Once you learn how to help them, and once you build rapport with them, and you start to build a relationship, because there's a decent chance you're going to talk with them several times as you're trying to break into accounts, leverage them for information to not only help build the relationship with them, but also give you additional insight that you can use when you're talking to the decision maker and seeing if you can actually help them, which that's what this is ultimately about. And last but not least, do not be afraid. If you get those questions like, "What's this about? Who's calling? Can I take a message?" all they're doing is the same thing that you're doing, their job. So don't feel like they're attacking you. They're just doing their job. Just have a conversation. To be polite, be respectful, and you're going to have the best chance of succeeding. So just to wrap this up, when you're dealing with gatekeepers, be confident, reference connections, smile, help them, leverage them, but don't use their full name. Don't bitch them. Don't be rude. Don't say no, and don't be afraid. Now, I promise you I want to leave you the script. So let me talk you through that of how to deal with gatekeepers. "Hello, this is Mike. How may I help you?" "Hey, Mike, can you please connect me with John?" They run sales there. Pause. I'm using Mike's first name, being polite, being respectful, but being direct. Can you please connect me to the first name? They reference the job function. This implies that they should be expecting your call. And you stop there. And that should get you through. But if they ask a follow-up question, here's how you handle it. Follow-up question. May I ask who's calling? Yeah, this is Justin J. Johnson. We don't have a scheduled meeting, but they should be expecting my call. Thank you. Let's break this down. This is my full name because I got nothing to hide. If you just say your first name, that could fire off the alarms by you being vague. So say your full name and you overcome the objection proactively. Hey, we don't have a scheduled call yet, but they should be expecting the call. That overcomes the objection before you even get it. And then you wrap it up by saying thank you, which implies that you're thanking them for connecting you. And if that works, you're golden. But if they ask you a follow-up question, here's how you handle it. May I ask what this is about? Yeah, the reason why I'm calling is I saw he posted about customer satisfaction being the killer of orgs. I should have a couple quick questions for him. Is John around? So I'm being polite, respectful, given the compelling reason. Notice I'm not pitching my product or services, but the trigger reason for my reach out, I use that. And then after I answer that, I quickly turn that to, is their first name available? Because I'm still being politely persistent and confident. I'm trying to speak with John here. That should work by then, but I still got more. If by chance they say, hey, they're not available, can I take a message? Which of course is going to come up. Use this as an opportunity to get more information. And by saying something along these lines, hey, happy to, but just for future reference, when would you recommend I give John a call back if I don't hear from him? And you want to pause here because what you're implying is, hey, I'm going to follow up if I don't hear back, but also what's going on? Because you might hear from them say something like, you know what, give a call back in a week because I know John's heads down prepping for a board meeting. So if you don't hear from him by next Thursday, he'll give a call back. Guess what happens? I can use that information when I call back the next time, whether talking to the gatekeeper or if I'm able to connect with John, and it helps build rapport. And then after you gather that information, say thank you. And then you say, all right, well, my message is, this is the compelling reason I'm reaching out. Reiterate that. And here's my info. And then what you can do from here, if you want, if you're not confident in the email address that you have, say, hey, you know what? Just a quick side note. Would it be easier for you if I email John directly instead? Sometimes they're going to say yes. And then it's an opportunity for you to confirm the best email address with them on the call. And then they'll pass along the information. What you want to do here is love on them because they don't have to pass on the information. They don't have to connect you with John. So say, thank you so much, Mike. You are amazing. I want you to have an amazing day. And that's going to help build rapport because, again, there's a decent chance you're going to be talking to this person. But there's a bonus I want to give you. This is my favorite thing when it comes to dealing with gatekeepers because they're a gold mine of information if you know how to use it. So instead of just saying, hey, thank you so much, you're amazing, have a great weekend, add this. Say, hey, you know what? You wouldn't happen to have 2 minutes to spare, would you? You know, one of the questions I have for John, you actually may be able to help with because I know, let's be real, you probably run the show. So guess what I'm doing here? I'm out giving the gatekeeper an opportunity to save their boss's time, which is always a win. And then guess what I'm doing? I'm inserting humor and I'm complimenting them in the process, which builds rapport, helps strengthen our relationship because that's what we're doing here. And most of the time they'll say yes. And what you'll say is, hey, you know, as I mentioned earlier, I'm calling about customer satisfaction in the post that John put out there. Just curious, is this something that John is talking about a lot in meetings there or something that's top of mind for you over there? Pause. By you asking this question, there's a lot of intel you can get from it because this person is in that building day in and day out. So they know what people are talking about, at least even at a high level. All right. So it's an amazing amount of information. And then what you do is you have a quick 2 to 3 minute conversation. Say, tell me more, learn more about it. Because all of this helps you understand what's going on with that business, which is the first thing you're trying to do when you're trying to sell into an account, is really get a full grasp of the state of the union. And the gatekeeper is an incredible person for you to lean on for that information. Then after that conversation, say, hey, cool question for you. I'd love to get 5 minutes with John because you mentioned this is something that they're thinking about, and it's something that we help a lot of companies with. What's the best way to just get 5 minutes on the calendar with them? Pause. If you build rapport with them, by this point, they're going to help you get 5 minutes on the calendar. So this is where you use this and turn them into an asset versus someone that's standing in your way by being friendly and confident, trying to figure out if there's a way that you can help them and leverage them after just honestly just being a good human being and having a conversation with them. And if you do that, it's going to significantly increase the chances that you get to the decision maker that you're trying to speak with. And it's going to help you get more meetings, build more pipeline, and make more money. My name is Justin J. Johnson, founder and creator of the Beautiful Savage Sales Academy. Use this, implement it, go burn it down. I'll see you in the next video.